What's some advice, I could give for young men? And so this morning, I want to give 5 things that you can start developing in your life to become a man among men, to become that man that you need to be and that the world around you needs you to be, okay? And I'm going to start out. Now, this first one is going to sound so vanilla, all right, so tapioca, so light, so nothing on the surface, but it's not. You need to work on being a good man. Now, before you throw your hands up, there are a lot of people out there that don't know what it means to be a good man. Especially, I'm going to kick over a hornet's nest here, especially in the deeply religious world. They don't know what it means to be a good person. Listen to me. The absence of evil is not an automatic indication of the presence of good. All right? I'm going to say that again. The absence of evil is not an automatic indication of the presence of good. You've got negative, you have positive, and you have neutral. Neutral is there's no negative, but there's no positive either, which means it's a big zero. You remember studying in school negative and positive numbers? All right, picture that graph you looked at on the page. There's -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we say, down there on the negatives, Dwayne, I don't do drugs, and I don't abuse women, and I don't steal from people, and I don't do this, and I don't do that. And so they do away with all the negatives, but they don't do anything positive. Congratulations. That person's a big zero. If you are not willing and able, to some degree, to protect the family that you have started, you don't have a right to have a family. That's my opinion. That's Dwayneism, okay? You don't have a right to have that family.
Now, there's an attack on masculinity that you guys, if you're on this side of the internet, you're seeing it, but there's been an attack on masculinity for the better part of the past 20 to 30 years, right? Now, if you go to the gym and you train or whatever, they call you a toxic alpha male or whatever. We're sitting here, watching creators on YouTube and that are fat, out of shape, no life accomplishments, haven't done anything, and yet people respect their opinion. I'll be honest with y'all. Half these YouTubers that talk shit or whatever it may be, that have their stupid little reaction channels or whatever, they haven't accomplished anything, and they're not in good shape, so I don't respect them. And they continue on with talking shit about other people that are doing better than them, okay? When I meet a man, I shake his hand, I look him in the eye, and I see, I could get an aura, right? And what I'm saying is that masculine essence is gone. They'll work with you, and then they'll go ahead and talk shit about you behind your back. They're out of shape, they're flabby, they're soft. The people, it's like we just lived in a society now, okay? And the masculine sentiments that used to be around, that people used to respect and admire, now they talk shit about. Oh, you're toxically masculine, toxic masculinity. Oh, alpha male, blah, blah, blah. When did that become a bad thing? What the fuck is going on? It's sick to me that we live in a world where if some soy boy YouTuber puts in crazy toxic alpha male says this, it gets 1 million views. People love shitting on guys that are naturally masculine, that got their shit together. That's the clickbait. That's the clickbait. Toxic alpha male, blah, 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 blah. I never once called myself a alpha male, but they go ahead and they use that to go ahead and get clicks. Why? Because their soy boy audience wants you, right, to not strive to be in good shape, to be a leader, to be dominant, to have your life together, to have accomplishments behind your name. Why? Because that builds confidence. And when you have confidence, you're going to look at losers like them and not respect their word. Okay? We live in a world now where guys will sit there with 0 accomplishments and sit there and criticize people that have accomplishments. Before, the way I know it, many of you guys watching this, if a guy didn't have experience, he shut the fuck up. No one gave a fuck about his opinion because you're at the bottom of the hierarchy. You haven't accomplished anything. You go into law enforcement, the rookie shuts the fuck up. You have to prove your worth, okay? When I was a rookie agent on the southwest border, going after these cartel, whatever, the first couple years I shut the fuck up and let the work speak for itself. I didn't sit there and mouth off to the older guys and tell them this is how we're gonna do it, blah, blah, blah. I just worked, and then eventually they respected me. This guy's a go-getter, and then they would volunteer to go out and do late night surveillance with me. They would volunteer to help me out. They would volunteer to help me go and sit up on a house when I'm doing a search warrant. I had to earn the respect from my peers. I'm talking about guys that did special forces, guys that were prior military, guys that killed people for the United States of America. I had to earn that respect, rightfully so. So I understood that I shut the until I did something.
And nobody can destroy you if you won't let them. All right? Don't let them. You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifices. Make the unpopular decisions. And become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, and full responsibility to change. Okay? I don't have the right, I don't have the desire to, and I do not have the right to try to change my wife's personality and who she is. I don't have the right to change anybody except myself. Now there's people out there I don't like, and if I don't like them, I just walk away. I'm 55 years old. I've done without that person my whole dang life. I don't need them now. And I don't have the right or the desire to try to change them.
If you don't own something, you're not the boss. You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom.
I feel you. Makes a lot of sense.
You've got to own that. You can't just walk into things with your eyes half open. You've got to walk into things with your eyes fully open. You've got to know what you're getting into. You have to take possession of your life.
Is this a thought process that you have to constantly reaffirm, or is this cemented in your
it's
head?
exactly that. It's exactly that. You drift on this point.
Right.
And it is whatever form of meditation or mantra that you decide to espouse, there needs to be some period in your day where you remember that there's a world out there trying to tell you who you are, and there's a world in here that's trying to tell you who you are. Now, where do you want to put your eggs? Because the world outside is very noisy and very tempting, and it has all the razzmatazz, has all the tinsel and all the glitter. It's got all the toys. But that's because you don't think you're enough in the first place. If you don't think you're enough in the first place, the whole idea of the world to sell you stuff is, first of all, they have to make you feel bad about yourself, less than in some way. And I don't resent this system, by the way. It is the system. But what's the expression about don't hate the player, hate the game? Don't hate the game. Love the game because you're in it, mate. So own the game, accept the rules, and move on into the rules. So the world will try and tell you who you are, and you have to tell yourself who you are. And there's this ongoing battle. And somehow there needs to be a reconciliation between the two. But in the end, you've got to have all the eggs in your basket.
There's also an ongoing internal battle, though, isn't there? There's the you that you want people to think you are, and there's the you who you are, and trying to figure out, like, how do I figure out who I am? Like, do I have a correct assumption of how the people are perceiving me and how I actually am objectively, or am I bullshitting the world with this suit and pocket square?
Yeah, I would say it's exactly the scenario that we're talking about. There's essentially only two worlds. There's the inner world of energy and there's the outer world of energy. There's two identities. One's real, one's false. The external world is, I'm asking you to tell me who I am. That's what we're all playing at. And as soon as you start playing that game, we run into all sorts of trouble. Call it the ego, call it whatever you want to call it. But that's the dynamic that we're in. And somehow we have to give ourselves enough confidence to reassure ourselves that we are enough. However, I enter the game because I've got to move on in the world. I've got to crack on in the world. And I know there's loads of temptations that can come along the way. So I will own the suit. I'm going to wear the suit, but I'm going to own the suit. Now, I don't mean by paying for it. I mean by owning it.